Online and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
Local pro-white activist Peter Tefft had boots on the ground as rallies turned violent over the weekend in Virginia, leaving 1 dead and 19 injured. Many people here in the FM area are not happy about Tefft attending the pro-white rally, including Tefft's own family. Valley News Team's Bradford Eric sat down with Peter Tefft today, asking him why he feels the rights of white people are under attack. Bradford?
Andrea, that's right. I sat down with local pro-white activist Peter Tefft, trying to understand why he was there and what his side of the story is. He says it was a miracle no gunshots were fired, and this morning, Tefft's father tells the public he did not raise his children to believe a pro-white agenda and that he is no longer welcome to come around the family.
I don't really want to speak too much about my family and their harassment.
Peter Tefft says he's a pro-white activist and went to Charlottesville to uphold free speech and demonstrate against the removal of a statue of Robert E. Lee. I asked Tefft, how are his pro-white beliefs not looked upon as hateful and divisive to the country?
I guess I would ask how anybody sees advocating for civil rights as hate speech. As far as the term white supremacist goes, in my view, anybody that thinks white people don't need advocacy, they're the white supremacists.
I asked Tefft, what civil rights for white people in this country are under fire? He pointed back to the weekend's violence, saying pro-white folks were not allowed to peacefully gather.
Not everyone there agreed on everything, but they did agree that white people deserve civil rights. So you had constitutionalists, you had basic Republicans, you had National Socialists, you had white and Southern identitarians. And we're all being thrown in the same boat by the media, and that's why we all need to stand together.
I said to Tefft, you're not very well liked in this town at the moment because of your beliefs and because of where you were this weekend. He said as far as he knew, he had no idea, again telling me there's a new civil rights era coming and that people have to choose sides. Andrea?
All right, thank you, Bradford. President Trump today issued a statement condemning the organizations that had gathered in Virginia, saying racism is evil and people who incite violence because of it are criminals and thugs.
The Department of Justice has opened a civil rights investigation into the deadly car attack that killed 1 innocent American and wounded 20 others. To anyone who acted criminally in this weekend's racist violence, you will be held fully accountable. Justice will be delivered.
The president's statement today came after intense criticism over the weekend for failing to do so in the immediate aftermath of the Charlottesville car attack. Meanwhile, the man accused of running a car into a crowd of counter-protesters in Charlottesville on Saturday made his first court appearance this morning. 20-year-old Alex Fields Jr. was arraigned on second-degree murder charges and denied bail. Police records show Fields was previously accused of beating his mother and threatening her with a knife. One of the victims from Saturday's crash was discharged, leaving 9 people still hospitalized. Doctors say they are all in good condition. 32-year-old Heather Heyer, a counter-protester, was killed in the crash. It's not too hot out there, but it is humid today. Hutch, sounds like it'll be quiet this evening.
Yes, radar shows all of the showers out in the western Dakotas, so whatever your outdoor plans are, they will be a go. We have a few clouds outside, but other than that, we are very quiet. So your planner for Fargo shows temperatures that will stay in the 70s through sunset and then dip into the 60s. As humid as it is, overnight, some patchy dense fog could once again develop. In Grand Forks, we're seeing temperatures this evening that will be in the 70s and then dip into the 60s late. There will be a chance of some rain and thunderstorms in the forecast as our cooler weather stretch continues. I'll have details on when the heat returns, and we'll talk about the rain, when and where here in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Hutch. Now on to a Valley News Live exclusive. A man is breathing a sigh of relief after what could have been an explosive situation in Moorhead today. After a weekend of metal detecting in Baudette, Minnesota, Kane Nelson thought he had struck gold, only to realize later that he was holding what appeared to be a small missile. Not knowing what it was, Nelson brought the missile into work today at Muscatel Subaru in Moorhead, and that's when the bomb squad got involved.
The whole time I had it, it didn't really seem like it was that dangerous. Because the back of it was filled with concrete, and it was shake. Like when you shook it, parts moved around in it. So I mean, I didn't really think anything that dangerous of it.
You can hear Nelson's full story and what ended up happening to the device tonight on Valley News Live at 6. A level 2 sex offender is on the loose, and the Thief River Falls Police Department is looking for him. Jason Lindgren is wanted by the Department of Corrections after he removed his ankle monitor and ran away from a supervising officer. He had been under intense supervised release. Anyone who sees Lindgren or knows where he is urged to call 911 or the Thief River Falls Police Department at 218-681-6161. A Perham man was taken to a hospital after crashing into the ditch in Otter Tail County this morning. The Minnesota State Patrol says that 31-year-old Jeffrey Fritz was driving north on Highway 78 around 10:30 a.m. when his pickup suddenly lost power and went into the ditch. Fritz was taken to a Perham hospital to be treated for minor injuries. Authorities say Fritz was wearing his seatbelt at the time of the crash and alcohol was not involved. We're following a developing story out of Wisconsin tonight. Authorities are still looking for the suspect after 3 people were killed in a shooting at a dragway south of Milwaukee. It happened around 7 last night at the Great Lakes Dragway during Larry's Fun Fest. 5,000 people were attending the event when the shooting happened. 2 of the victims, who are from Illinois, died at the scene. The 3rd is at the hospital. Officials have yet to confirm if the shooting was gang-related, but all 3 victims are gang-affiliated. The investigation is ongoing. The Colorado jury is deliberating in the dueling lawsuits involving Taylor Swift. The pop star claims former DJ David Mueller groped her at a backstage 2013 event in Denver. Mueller denies groping Swift while also accusing Swift, her mother, and a Swift representative of getting him fired. A judge removed Swift as a defendant in the firing claim. The 8-member jury must rule unanimously on Mueller's claim of his wrongful firing. The jury must also reach a verdict on Swift's counterclaim of assault and battery. Remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day. A fun outing on a boat turned into a scary situation for 2 men. Luckily, they're doing okay after their 17-foot boat sank on Lake of the Woods. Bob Brott and his cousin were fishing for walleye on Lake of the Woods when anywhere from 75 to 100 gallons of water got into the back of their boat. The 2 only had time to grab life jackets and jump into the lake to ride the keel of the upside-down boat for 3 hours in the dark. They drifted to a deserted island on the Canadian side of the lake, where they would spend the next 2 days. They boiled water 12 ounces at a time in a soda pop can that they found, pouring it into a makeshift 5-gallon pail canteen.
Ultimately, that's what kept us from dehydration, was boiling that water and drinking a lot of lake water there. We had flags that we'd made and shirts that we were waving frantically.
The Royal Canadian Mounted Police eventually found the 2. Brott, who's from Eden Prairie, Minnesota, says the experience won't stop him from taking his next fishing trip back up to Lake of the Woods, but he says he'll be a lot more cautious next time. Police want to make sure you know about some door-to-door salespeople who might be knocking on your door sometime soon. Fargo police say ProTech Premier Chemical has been in town since last Monday and that they are licensed, so you don't have to worry if it's a scam or not. Police say the company will be in town until next Friday, but if you ask them to leave your house and they refuse, you can call Fargo Police at 235-4493 or call 911. Quite the debut for a 10-year-old West Fargo boy, belting out rock and roll all night at a show at the Shooting Star Casino in Mahnomen, Minnesota last Friday with KISS guitarist Paul Stanley and frontman Gene Simmons. The video was posted to YouTube by Steele Bryant's dad, Anthony Steele. And the child eventually gets to sing on stage, taking the lead on the chorus of the rock hit. And at one point, Simmons even hands him his sunglasses. Steele's dad says he's been a die-hard KISS fan for 2 years, adding that one of his dreams was to meet the band, but being on stage even took his dream a step further. You don't always have to drive out to Lakes Country to have fun on the water. The Red River provides lots of opportunities to have fun within the city limits. River Keepers and Moorhead Parks offer kayak and canoe rentals by the Yumkomst Center. The rentals run until August 27th on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and only it costs $8 an hour. Organizers say the Red is a great resource many people forget about.
It's really a getaway inside of town. Even if you're driving over it or riding next to it, it's really much different if you're actually on the river.
If you're looking for a fun activity, there is a visual scavenger hunt happening tomorrow. The event is for all ages, and it's recommended that people arrive before 6 p.m. Sanford health facilities in Fargo are continuing to move forward after the opening of their new location. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held today for the new urgent care clinic in the former emergency department at Sanford Medical Center, Broadway. With the emergency department's move to the new hospital, Sanford wanted to offer a convenient care clinic, given how popular the South University walk-in is. This new location will provide another option to give patients easy access to medical care. The clinic will be open 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sanford will evaluate whether to add weekend hours based on need over the next few months.